What's up, everybody? FooserX here. Today's topic, oh man, got a broken bumper. Today's topic is kind of advanced. It is something not meant for most players. It is not meant for amateurs, beginners, probably not meant for a lot of experts. And that is something that you will not see on any other YouTube channel. This is a world premiere topic on my channel, and that is recoiling. What is it? Why do we do it? And is it necessary? Spoiler alert, it is necessary. It is absolutely necessary. So let's get this going. What is a recoil? First off, there's multiple definitions, just like any other word in the dictionary. So the first definition, very standard definition, and that is the act of reversing motion on a shot in order to square up the ball. So let's look at what that looks like. I'm going to shoot a rollover. I'm going to go to the push side. I'm going to make that hole extra big. That way I don't miss it too much. We're going to be tossing the ball this way. And because we are tossing the ball this way, it has like kinetic energy. That motion of the ball wants to keep going this way. And so if we were just to swing the man over to hit it, it's going to go into the wall. So we have to swing it faster. We have to rotate the man faster to start bringing it over here. And the faster we do it, the longer distance we toss that ball, we have to start cutting back on the ball in order to bring it, to cut it back into that long hole. And that is what's known as a recoil. So I'm going to try to do that slow, see what that looks like. And notice the final placement of this man. So I'm in the middle here, rocking it. I'm going to toss it slow. See over here that our man is ending up over here. Even though we tossed it over there, in order to make that shot square up, we have to pull the bar this way. Let's try it again. Rocking it, we're tossing it, we're pulling in the man over here. And we have to do that. The faster our lateral speed is, the more we have to pull that rod back right as we hit it in order to square it up. So that's definition number one. Like, that is the recoil. That's what a recoil is. Definition number two, kind of like Urban Dictionary. You know, it's a casual definition, and that is an exaggerated motion of definition number one, created for a variety of reasons. You know, it is somewhat disrespectful, but there's different reasons why we do this. So let's explore that. So before we explore that, I'm going to show you what definition number two looks like. That is a recoil. It is crazy. That is absolutely not the same shot that we needed to execute in the first definition. So what is all that extra motion? It looks painful, it looks violent, it looks not natural, but it is necessary. So what are we doing there? Well, that's what a recoil is. Why are we doing that? Well, we do it for different reasons. Everybody has their own reasons. And this is what we're here to talk about today. So you'll notice that it's very aggressive. You're hitting the bumper multiple times after you shoot it. So why are we doing that? What's the point? We're just expending all this energy. We borderline look like a fool. I mean, let's be honest here. Sometimes it looks silly. But it's not, because we do this for different reasons. And the first reason, at least the reason I like, is that foosball is a violent sport. I mean, it's like boxing. And you can't explain this to anybody other than the top professional foosball players. Anybody that has the bug in foosball, there's this competitive, you are right in the face of your opponent. You're going toe to toe, and you can't really talk shit in the match. You can't say F you, but you have to let your place, you have to let what's happening on the table do the talking for you. And this action of recoiling is sending a message to that other player. And what it's saying is a couple different things. Well, first off, it's an internal thing, at least for me sometimes, and it's pumping myself up. It is letting me like harness the energy to say, you know what? I can compete with whoever's on that other side of the table. I know this is not an easy match. I don't recoil against anybody. I don't. I recoil against the best players because it's pumping myself up. It is saying, you are not just as good as whoever's on the other side of the table, you're better. And it's firing myself up. It's like when I have so much energy, like I'm jumping up and down, I have so much energy inside of me, and it needs to come out somehow, and it comes out through the recoil. But there's other reasons why we recoil. Sometimes it's like this disrespectful gesture. It is, because when you're playing, you're very polite, you're passing, you're scoring, and all of a sudden somebody passes and scores on you, and they recoil like that. It does something to you emotionally. It almost damages you. It's like somebody bitch slapping you across the table, and you're like, whoa, what? Oh, we're just playing foosball, and you did that. Like, why do you need to do that? There's no point to do that. I mean, let's look at this. We're gonna just shoot the shot normal. We don't need a recoil. We're hitting this ball very crispy, very fast, very unraceable. There's no reason at all to recoil. Look at that. Very tight, very clean. I'm not even hitting the bumper, and it's a very fast shot to the open hole. So why do we need to do this? Why do we need to do that? Because there's an element to this game that is very aggressive. It is very emotional. You are comparing your testosterone or estrogen with the other person on the other side of the table, and you don't know this unless you are one of those top players. You're showing them, I'm not afraid of you, and I'm coming after you. And it might come across as disrespectful. Hey, so what? Competition is, hey, you know what? I have so much confidence in my own game. I don't really respect your defense. I'm going to score on you. Whatever defense you give me, I'm going to score on you. And I'm going to do this motion to let you know your defense means absolutely nothing to me. You could raise your you could raise your guys. You can move them in whatever pattern you want. I don't even care. I'm going to score on this. It's kind of the mindset of what you have going on when you recoil. So there's a couple things to this. Why is this necessary? Well, I don't know, man. When you look at the top players, I mean, think about it. When you watch Inside Foosball, and you're looking at those top players playing each other to get to the finals or even in the finals, they're not recoiling. They're very respectful of each other's games. But can you imagine if they started recoiling on each other? How awesome that would be? Like, Tony Spreedman's is like, tic-tac it over here, into the pole kick, bam! And then he's like recoiling, just throws the rod in Ryan Moore's face. That'd be so fucking awesome. I'm sorry, it would be. It might be a little disrespectful. Somebody's gonna get their feelings hurt, but that is exciting foosball. Or Robbie's over here, tic-tacking, doing his little brush series, and all of a sudden he lights up a fibro hack and just boom! That is what we need. That would absolutely bring in more players just to get that energy just flowing through the match, flowing to the spectators. It's exciting. So there's a couple things to this too, is can you just step up to the table and start recoiling? Well, this is why it's not for beginners, because if you suck, if you don't regularly win, if you're not victorious in the majority of your matches, this motion over here is a joke. Like, your recoil could be the best recoil in the world, but if you're losing, it's silly. Like, people are just going to be like, like what are you doing? You're recoiling and you're losing foosball matches. You can't do it. You have to be an elite player. You have to have it in you to beat whoever you want to beat. So Yeah, you absolutely can't be a beginner at this game. You can't be an amateur recoiling because, I don't know, it's like if your thing were cars and you stepped up on a strip and your car was a neon and you're over there revving up your neon and you're racing a Camaro and the street light turns green and you're just like, "Brr," and that Camaro just disappears and that's what you're doing. You're like revving up your tires, you're burning rubber, but it doesn't matter because you just got smoked. So same thing here. You can't be a horrible player in recoil. You just can't. So what else? Like, why is this a necessary thing? Well, another thing, like let's talk about it. So it's meant to fire yourself up. It's a little disrespectful. Sometimes it's meant to get in that other person's head. But if you're a great player, does that bother you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know, when some other person is recoiling on me, I could give a fuck. And I guarantee you, all the top players, if you start recoiling on them, for the most part, they're just like, whatever. I'm so dialed into my own game. I'm focused on my own game. I don't care what you do over there. If you want to look like a dick, you want to look silly, like this is a circus, you do whatever you need to do. I'm focused on my own game. But at the same time, every now and then, it'll get to them. It's letting them know, hey, I'm not afraid of you. And I have a really good example. If you want to scroll down a few posts on my Facebook, I don't know, probably a month or two ago, I was playing Mr. Kevin Romero. I was a little tipsy. I was fired up. He's the best player right now that's coming out in Colorado. And I felt really good about my game, especially on my 3-row. I was scoring really good. Definitely throwing in some recoils, a little bit of trash talk. And what is he doing on the other side of the table? Absolutely nothing. He's like, hey, I'm not even going to react to that. I'm just going to play my game and dominate you. It was head to head. We usually go, we're tied up for the most part, but he doesn't care because that's what the best players do. It's like, you don't care. But most players aren't the best players. When you start recoiling, people start crumbling. They see that aggression in you. It's like they're getting a glimpse inside of this beast. They see this beast breaking out of you. Like you're this like just absolute werewolf bursting out of your skin. You start playing more confident. You're passing harder. You're shooting better. They're trying different things on their defense, and you're like, I don't give a fuck what you are doing back there. I'm going to score on you. So that's why we recoil. And that's why it's necessary sometimes. As a man, as a player, even maybe a woman, you need to be able to bust out that inner beast inside of you. I'm sorry, but that's what this game's about. It's not always about just passing and scoring and percentages. It is about aggression and overcoming somebody who's better than you. And the moment, it's taking charge of the moment. Like taking control of what's happening over there. So it is very important. You have to learn your recoils, and there's different recoils. I mean, you could very much kind of compare this to a touchdown dance. Everybody's got different types of recoils. We've got the recoil where you're hitting multiple rods, kind of thing. Hey, that's one way to do it. Another one, which is like, I feel like my patented one lately. I don't know if I can do it now. You sometimes need to be in the heat of the moment. And that is when you strike the ball, you let go of the rod. It requires supreme confidence that the ball is going in. Oh, man. Come on, Scott. Man, ruining my video here. Well, I had my own signature one, and that was you let go of the bar right when you hit it, and you kind of it's like you leave your hand out here. You hit it, and you let go. It's like you're catching a baton from a 4x100 relay, and you leave it there, like you're posing. It's a little silly, but whatever. This game is supposed to be fun. Come up with your own recoil. I know Baller has his own. When he hits it, the second he hits it, that whole bar is just like moving like this. This is like kind of shaking. Like, the bar is like afraid. It's like we just hit this ball so hard. We're just like, we need to just chill out here. We're shaking. So I think that's it for today. we're talking about recoils. What are they? We went over it. Is it necessary? If you're below an expert, you don't need to be doing this. You can try it, but when you're trying it against a better player, they're probably gonna just laugh and start doing it back to you. But I would say practice your own recoil. You know, at home when you're hitting some of these shots in, practice it. You know, what feels good to you? What's natural but not excessive? Hey, and if you want to be excessive, it's all right. Absolutely all right. That's absolutely excessive, but whatever. This game is meant to be fun. It's meant to be aggressive. It's meant to be somewhat disrespectful sometimes. Hey, man. A couple minutes after this match, I think the world of you. I love you. I love any fooser that walks in the door. I don't care how good you are, how bad you are. I love you because we all share in the same passion. But on the table, for those few minutes of the match, nope. I do not respect your game. I don't care how good you are. If I'm fired up and it's a match that means something, that recoil is probably going to come out. And I'm sorry. You know, it's very controversial because you got a lot of players who don't do it. And that's okay. They want to have that personality where they're just very controlled. They don't need to flaunt anything. And who knows, maybe it's just like an insecurity thing. Like, hey, I don't know if I'm good enough to beat you, so I'm going to start recoiling in order to build myself up. Maybe, you know, we're diving deep here. That might be something. Maybe that's why you don't see the best players do it, because they don't need to, because they have so much confidence within themselves. They don't need to recoil. But I don't care. I like it. It's fun. I will absolutely, if there's 4 matches going on in the room, and I see Mr. Luera's over there recoiling, or somebody else, baller, and they're treating somebody bad, or it's a match, and it's very back and forth, and somebody's recoiling, I'm going to go watch that match, because that person cares the most on the table, and that's what makes foosball exciting, and that's why we love this game. So, yeah, I guess that's it. If you guys have any questions, if you have any thoughts on recoiling, if you're like, I don't know what this is, I'd like to explore that, yeah, come talk to me, or just come down to Colorado Foosball. We got a lot of people down here who love to recoil, like to get aggressive on this table. Doesn't mean anything in terms of personal disrespect. We love everybody, but when we're on the table, yeah, man. If you want to see what recoiling looks like in other sports, I got 2 really good examples. After this video you're watching, type in Scottie Pippen dunk over Patrick Ewing. That is the equivalent of a foosball recoil. He's dribbling down the court. Patrick Ewing tries to go up and block his dunk, and he absolutely just throws it down right over him. Patrick Ewing falls down, and he just walks over him. He just lets his nuts just dangle on his face. Just brrr, brrr, and he just walks right over him. That is the equivalent of a foosball recoil. Or when you're watching WWF or WWE, and like Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's like just pounding somebody, and he stops. He's just like 3 or 4 in a row, and he stops, and he gives the double finger, and he starts going again. That is the foosball equivalent of a recoil. You're a little flamboyant. You're showing off because you got a lot of confidence in what's going on over here. So that's why it's awesome. That's why you need to learn how to do it. You need to learn how to block it out when it's being done against you. But I urge you guys to explore that side of foosball. Like, open the door to being a dickhead. Like, maybe not a dickhead, but like opening the cage of the beast inside of you. Like, let that beast out. It feels really good. And it's pretty much the only place you can do it and not really get in trouble for it. I mean, you can't do this in real life. You can't fight with somebody. You can't get fired from your job for talking shit. But on the foosball table, when you want to recoil, it's legal. At least it should be. I don't know. It is disrespectful. Come on, Scott. Let's go out like a champ. And it definitely messes with your stroke too. So it's something you have to practice. It's something that has to flow naturally after the shot. All right, dudes. Great topic today. Really enjoyed it. I'm sure I'm missing a couple things, but hope to see all of you practice your own recoils, your own signature shots, your own signature emotions after you score, after you dominate. You know, let's have fun with this game. All right, laters.